into the organic paradigm. So organizations know that something from very structured, it's going into very people and culture. Yeah.
Okay.
So what happens right now? When people have the technology, they do something called launching, rolling out, collaboration tools. I launch virtual spaces, let's have forums, discussion forums. And what are the, well, success, what are the factors that leads to its success and failures, right? So let's look at some terms that's used in the paper. Enterprise 2.0, right? And that is the application of Web 2.0 in an organization. Techies and newbies. Techies are people who know the IT tool. Newbies are people who recently graduate and possibly have been exposed to the tool. In this paper, total 11 users are being interviewed, 6 non-users, and 5 users of the KM tool that's in the organization. And in this paper, of course, we are looking at the knowledge sharing behaviors, right? And these factors can be generally summarized into 3 factors: technological, organizational, and human. And in this paper, it's focusing mainly on the organizational and human factors. And that the next thing is, so we ask the users and non-users a set of questions on the willingness and barriers on using the Web 2.0 technology. So from there, we can derive and answer whether what are the factors that derives as success and failures. So if it fails, bye-bye, you know. And this portion will be covered by Dixon, okay? Then from the response that we get, the interviews, we will know the motivations, and from the answers, we can generally categorize 4 determinants. The first 2 determinants, history and outcome expectations, will be covered by Ida. The next 2 determinants of perceived management support and trust will be covered by Ronnie. And then we'll just do a quick conclusion on the whole paper. So with this, I hand the time over to Dixon. We'll do on the willingness and barriers of the Web 2.0 technology.
Okay, before I you probably know what I'm going to ask you next. Before I go on to talk about the willingness and barriers of Web 2.0 usage by the employees in TechCo, this is the question that I want to ask you if you remember the dynamics of a knowledge market. Anyone here remembers? This was covered in the first half of the class. No, I'll give you a hint. The first one is reciprocity. Right? So after reciprocity, what do you have? The 4 dynamics of in a knowledge market. Try again.
It's not about the form, it's about the driver of the market, of the deal.
No, nobody remembers. Okay. For information, this question was asked. If you haven't already looked through the examination database, this was one of the questions that was asked in the examinations. And the four dynamics of a knowledge market, they are reciprocity, repute, trust, and altruism. Right?
What's the 5th one? The exam question asked for 5 dynamics. What's the 5th one? The 5th one is recommendations. Alright, recommendations. Alright, so you know, like eBay and all that, you work on a basis of recommendations. Like, you know, like we had a medical example, pediatrician, right? In class I asked, right, who would you go? You would go to the one that's been recommended highly. Good.
Okay, so remember this 5 dynamics of a knowledge market, and basically we see this dynamics of a knowledge market manifesting in TechCo itself, alright? And this will be the premise that we will use to analyze the responses of the employees in this company. Right. And right, so the first one that we see coming from the users, the willingness under reciprocity is basically to enable them to derive effective communication and to allow them to find the answers to the problem. So instead of having to constantly reinvent the wheel, the information is already out there, available in some repository, and it allows them to reuse the wheel. And the other factors that were pushing the users, the already users of Web 2.0 to use the technology is that it enables them to generate discussion, right? And it also allows them to receive the desired help and feedback. Okay? And now coming from the non-user side, well,